Hey, it's Jason Faulkner, aka Shop Weasel. It's 5 something in the morning, and then it's a cold bitch outside. It's 5:16, and I'm in East Tennessee. I've been having lots of animal traffic here at Shop Weasel and the Oasis. I just put some more feed out here and there, just because it's a cold bitch outside. It's cold as society, and I normally don't do this, but seeing how it might be the last frozen night of the year, I put some tap water out there in their water dish and melted it down a little. It was frozen over, but not too thick. Fairly thick, but it broke through into the bottom tray of water, the bottom column that wasn't frozen. So they have a nice little water hole. If anything comes through, we'll just sit here and let the camera run for a while and see what travels through before dawn. Lots of skunks, possums, and raccoons. And it's a cold bitch outside, as cold as society. I like that warm weather. I've been looking at real estate stuff in South Florida, Boca Raton. I haven't been looking at a lot of Boca Raton, just tonight a couple, because I already knew the deal. But it's a society and economy where if you're not a hand fostered member of the affirmative action groups, you just can't compete. You can't afford nothing. And I just seen a clip of the blob, and that just reminds me, the real blob is digital, and what it really does, it don't eat you, it eats your wealth, strips you to the bone with poverty, and the blob is real, folks. It's just not represented correctly. The big digital blob. The blob. Anyway, I'm Jason Faulkner, aka Shop Weasel. I'm really moving into grooving with my business efforts too. I've called and tested the water with business brokers, and it's like everything else engineered in our society. It's an engineered, fostered socialism that is cold, desensitized, and pretty much robotic out there. Yeah, society's a robot. Sure is. And I've yet to discover one phrase or keyword that breaks through their very sophisticated lifetime programming. Oh well. I figure a great innovation would possibly penetrate that barrier of poverty, but I just don't see it. I don't know what's required. I guess it's I know what it is. It's social perversity. That's the programming that determines, identification amongst each other out there in that group. They cut the ice, call the the passivity of normalcy and get right down to their nastiness. A lot of it is slick, subtle sadist subtleties in their mannerisms that they identify with. tattoos and sneers and just little gestures they can instantly pick up on one another. It's like that World War Z movie with Brad Pitt, they can sniff disease out within seconds. Well, these are all just subtle hints and mannerisms that they build into stuff to see if people can identify it. And, they might not be dead, but they do have the same intricacies that they represent in movies. Hint about it. It's all overt and covert stuff. And it really isn't even that important. My limitations that they've imposed on me just pretty much keeps me boxed in. I think of the minds that created all this, and that's some very sadistic goals they had set to rule society by. And it's like that movie Belko, It's like that movie, the Belko Experiment. They want to seal everyone that isn't inside their organization into a box like that. It's all Illuminati stuff. It's even in the Bible, The Bible's so silly and stupid the way they've written it. Jab begotten Gib and Gibber and Jabber and Gibber Babble. Babble, babble. Babble, babble, babble. Jabber, jabber, jabber. Anyway, even with what all is engineered into society, all the firewall them, when you build innovative products, these guys sit in the shadows and they love it. They just, they're programmed to steal and contrite and subdue what they want to where they can, they can't buy or acquire anything unless it meets the standards of what's been groomed into their organization. In other words, if you take an outsider and you deal with them and you impose wealth onto them, everyone within that person's grouping socially will ostracize them. It's all mental warfare. It's all a schematic of a mental warfare that they've engineered in all these people thoroughly. And one little drop in their own calm pool of socialism, and it has a hellacious reaction. They get ostracized and who knows what. I don't know. I haven't studied it. I don't want to. They're not that important. But I know the desire of my fabulous products, and sooner or later I'm hoping that it will impart success to me. So it's not that important that I get this stuff out to the masses today or tomorrow or next year even, because it just benefits them, and they really don't deserve the benefit of it. What's more important is my own success and wealth. I deserve it. But you take a person that's been a rotten crumb their whole life and you give them like one of these the Oasis, and do they deserve the year's worth of pleasure this would give them? Easily. No. Throw some food out on it, get to watch all the local wildlife enjoy it. it'd probably cause them mental confusion and hatred arise. It's like those movies where, the hitman has made one too many kills and he has a mental breakdown over shit. You put this in the hands of the wrong person and they'll see all the goodness and how easy it could be to have something pleasurable and clean. It would probably cause them to have a mental fucking breakdown and go ballistic. Who knows? Yeah, I'm going to be having a good time the next few weeks. It's warming up. In 3 days, I'm going to be putting more carpet all the way out. 13 more feet of it, at least. Yeah, I looked at that on YouTube, the Boca Raton real estate market video, and they posted it like 2 weeks ago. I was like, well, it's new enough. Maybe I can see what's going on there. And instead of showing the house, they showed the house first, but then it went right to the McLaren sports car. And like they're showing the sports car like that was important to the query of real estate. And that's what it is, these people that get greenlit into their social acceptance of affirmative action. They get the car, the house, the multi-million-dollar bank account, because that's what it takes to even get your foot in the door and compete to have something there. And that's part of their criteria they built into their ugly social networking. Either you got it or you don't. There is no in between. There is no in between. You don't get the house without the car. That would be testing their social durability of their schematic. To say, well, I'm looking for a house, not a car. They don't. The warmongers that created this socialism, they wanted victory. They didn't want guessing. They don't want guesswork. They want assured outcomes. If they want to own a person's soul, they buy it and they own the soul. They don't say, well, you come in and, okay, you did a good deed and here's your money and we could do something business-wise with this easily and double our money without batting an eye. But, that's not what's important to us. The human soul is. We want to steal it. We want to control it like a robot because there's no room for, all these people have done so much corruption. They're not going to leave anything in doubt of falter. They want it. They're going to keep it. And they've set an immovable surpass all about it throughout all of society. It's a firewalled world. I'm on the penny side. I work mighty hard to not be on the penny side. But, just like now, this video is pretty much mundane anyway. It's all about doctrine. It's all about the doctrine. Indoctrination. Most of these people that have been indoctrinated into it, even the young ones, full of tattoos and already conditioned mentally to never be fixed. They'll never be good people. They can smile and put on their Sunday's best and go out, but they can fake it a little bit, but you can easily scratch through that surface and see the ugly, and it's everywhere. That's why I'm a proud, glad independent, because once you're that ugly, it's forever. I got bored with just making silent movies also, but I got a problem. I got to be like within 2 feet of my phone for the microphone to work. If not, you're not hearing me. So I gotta kneel on my bed and look at the phone while I talk. Because they engineered even this stuff to have falter. It won't have a microphone. I can comfortably sit 5 feet away and talk normal and be heard. But if you wanted to hear me bad enough, I guess you still hear me. Now I'm 3 feet away. Most of these people that acquire wealth is with the corruption. They got a preferred favorite pathway for people to acquire wealth, especially the collegiate youth. And that's indoctrinating them into some form of the government associated with the justice system. That's the easiest wealth that they can amass. But they funnel them and filter them into a system that predates on others. It's an endless juggernaut of predation that keeps that government entity alive, fresh, and vitalized. So if you're wondering who's mostly being allowed in that lifestyle of the McLaren and the $1 million homes, and they're everywhere, that's the archetype. And they desensitize those people and get them into a loose, fucked up lifestyle. And once they see that they're pushed into that realm beyond recovery, to where that dull buzz sensation of desensitization will always be within them, then they ease off and push them around the board a little and use them when they need them as Manchurians. Those cloaked personalities that they can rely on to do every kind of dirty deed. And they put them in those lifestyles because they know they'll want to fight to keep that lifestyle for themselves. And they can rely on them with the least resistance, like Minutemen. They have no morals. They have no barriers that they will have a fight with their own conscience to surpass, because all that's already been stripped from them. They have no urge to or mental worries about others. They really don't uphold no dedication to the overt propaganda of what society is supposed to be about, because that's all that is. And that model has been such a shipwreck that all those people fell into the same pit. And a lot of them fell out of favor, but yet are still controllable. So a lot of them become impoverished, especially in the military. And become victims within itself. And they broker deals, these hall room deals, with people that already had predetermination that they're going to put them all in and controlled environments. So you got a lot of these military people that are burnout druggies and tattooed up and freaks and just totally useless as anything with any amount of integrity or trustworthiness. So they broker deals with them behind the scenes, silly things like, well, we seen you were 10 years in the military and you could retire in 10 more, and you did this, you've broken our laws, and you can sit in this prison and we'll feed you and take care of you for 10 years, and then we'll go ahead and give you your military pension. We'll give you a pension. They probably wouldn't even call it a military pension. A lot of them are living within their own institutions that they created. That's pretty cool. That's a rotten bunch. There isn't anything out there existing that isn't corrupted. As corrupt gets. And that doesn't bother me. I never was in the military. I'm doing pretty good for myself. But having to work through this mush of what society is, it sucks. That makes for a very disgruntled person. And the notion that of the justice system that you can get a lawyer is a big lie. You can buy a lawyer if you're rich enough. But even that, it's more like a mob. They're so high up on the frill of wealth that they really don't hold no obligation to anything except the mightiest power that they know that they're so closely tied to, which is so far up that all they have to do is keep in good standings with the corruption. Vote once a year, smile when you're told to, pretend to argue when you're told to, but never break the rank and file of the overall schematic. It really ain't that important either. Life is what it is. And to fight to make life better overall for a bunch of ingrate and unworthy entities, nah. I think that's the resistance I'm getting from my products. Bright, innovative, fun things. They sort of sneer at that sort of stuff. They're like, well, that'll bring peace of mind to some and harmony, and we don't want that. We want lewd viciousness and spontaneous controllability, we want to be able to send Joe around and say, hey, honey, you need a new tattoo on your ass. I think you'll fit in perfect then. And she'll say, yeah, I think you're right. Let's go get one. But I'm just talking, it's probably close to 6. Sun will be up soon. The birds will be out. Another day closer for warm weather. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow or this morning today. Why is he rambling all of a sudden? Why not? Because I always had that option. I just don't feel whether I ramble or not is going to affect the equation either way. I'm sitting here eating a single slice of bread with peanut butter on it, folded in half, and I'm almost done with it. I'm down to my last bite. My fresh pot of coffee water is boiling. I got to go over there and pour it in the pot and make me a fresh cup of joe and do a lot of thinking of my next moves that I'm going to be making business-wise. I don't know. I'd love to get a hold of $1 million. I know I can start manufacturing this activity feeder in this video on a large scale and have a cardboard backing advertising display for my display units. That would be pretty noticeable and stunning. It would motivate, just by happenstance, a lot of buyers. Have it set up in the entranceway of wherever I can put it. And have such a nice looking glossy cardboard display attached to the wood on the display model. That would get the people's attention. Just random people that walk by it. They'd be like, oh, look at this. And have about 10 of them boxed up, standing upright in a nice little row near the display. They would sell like pancakes. They'd really fly out the door. There's plenty of real estate available on these units to do commercial advertising also. You know, company brand name stuff, especially on that upper feeder ring. Or on the base bottom platform. Just have them color printed business logos right on the bottom, like Ace Hardware facing up. That'd look good. Or Lowe's, Walmart, Holiday Inn, Matco Tools, Snap-on, any product, Purina, pet products. Great business potential there. And videography wise, I mean, just splendid to see the interaction of animals. The skunks and the possums are not going to climb on it. Maybe they will start in warm weather. And maybe they will when I finish carpeting it out all around it. I'm waiting for Wednesday to test this out in warm weather. That soft carpet all around it. I bet they'd feel a lot more adventurous and want to climb all over that baby. And as far as domestic pets, putting this indoor, the only thing I can think of is stability. You know, people are going to be scared that their cat's going to jump off of it and knock it over or something. But I've already thought that I could offer an additional stabilizer ring for indoors, like a plastic ring. You just drop over it or set it on. Sort of like those outdoor safety work barrels that you see on the side of the roads. Just a hard plastic beveled ring that keeps it, from tipping over. Even if it does tip over, though, it's just a garbage can lid. It's not going to hurt anything. They pick it back up. But that stabilizer ring, about another 6 inches around it, that'd be enough stability. Or even a suction cup, a ring with suction cups on it. They can stick it down on their kitchen floor or wherever they want it. Outdoors, I got it screwed to my deck, but I could just offer tent stakes to push it down in the yard grass or some long nail spikes like they use in tents. Put a pair of them in a box. Sell the other stabilizer ring as an extra accessory for it. For indoor. With suction cups. But people coming home to see their cats on it, their ferrets, their parrots, their birds. A lot of people have birds. That's awesome for birding. If you're a bird person or even outdoor bird watching, you set one of these up. You can put seeds on the steps, seeds in the bowl, seeds on the top, and seeds on the bottom, and it is a bird magnet. Or even deep woods people that live in or go in the woods regular, that really want to feed the animals, that would be awesome. I could see a flock of turkeys just working over a bunch of feed off of it. That would be awesome. Or deer. It's got unlimited potential. Or just in your suburban home, outside in the backyard or front yard, you have a family or you got a patio area, you set one of these out near it and keep a little feed in it, and you get an unlimited amount of wildlife interaction that's just nuts. I love looking at the animals interacting with it. Then I got my manual feeder block maker, which goes with this hand in hand. I can see people, just hobbyists, wanting to make their own feeder block for their own wildlife. Or even their pets, Your cat would tear apart one of my manual feeder blocks. Your cat would tear apart a popcorn ball to get to a little tin of cat food in the middle. That would be interesting. Very entertaining. Or your ferrets. Make a popcorn feeder block and put a treat inside for your ferrets that they'll like. Or your parrots, birds. You make custom feeder blocks. And it's pretty fun to do, It's great to have the choice of what you put in your own feeder block. Anyway, I'm going to cut this short. I've rambled enough. This is Jason Faulkner, a.k.a. Shop Weasel from East Tennessee. Wish I'd go get my other carpet tomorrow, but I don't have a vehicle. I got to wait for a ride, which is Wednesday. Poverty pimped to my eyeballs by this disgusting society. But I'm fighting my way out of it. Now, I'd like to offer this as a complete package with that large water dish. I call it the Coon Sauna. That would sell too. Hey, I'm surprised these popcorn people, seeing how I make a manual feeder block maker, and I've been focusing on popcorn as far as the amalgam behind it. I'm surprised these popcorn people don't realize that they can increase the sales of their popcorn with my product dramatically. If I had millions of people getting into the hobbyist and making their own feeder blocks with popcorn, imagine how their market shares would be then. Just food for thought, random stuff. This is Jason Faulkner, aka Shop Weasel. I'm off. I'm done. I'm gonna upload this video now. It'll probably take hours. Check out my other videos as I make them. Like, share, and text links if you want to share them. Just text them. Have a good one.